It's that time again. Time to open up the mailbox to all my crazy subscribers with strange shit they want to ask me and see how many of these damn things that I can answer. And yes, the YouTube auditor is still banned from asking questions because he can go fuck himself. So once again, we'll revisit the rules of engagement. Most importantly, do not write your questions in the comment section of videos. Either this video, future videos, whatever the case may be. Having to come back through my videos is a pain in the ass and is the least effective way of sending me a message, because obviously once you have the comment section, all that shit gets scrolled all the way down to the fucking bottom and you never see that motherfucker. So there are two main ways in which people can send me messages. One way is right here on YouTube with the personal message shit. Every now and then I check that motherfucker. I'll be honest, the only time I ever check that shit is when I actually do the question and answer session of Business Bitch. But you can send me private messages here on YouTube, or you can go over to the website of Prestige Gamers and send me a message through there. You can sign up with an account or whatever the hell it is. It's very simple. Private message system. You'll see my name wherever the fuck it is all over the goddamn website. You can send me a message through there. Either one works. I'm not picky about which method it is, and it's easy to receive questions on both of those sites. However, you can only ask one question only. Now, in prior videos, I used to do this unlimited shit, right? And then people got crazy and would send me like 10 fucking questions. So then I had to narrow that shit down to 4. Of course, everyone had to send in 4 questions, then 2. Finally, the last time we tried 1, and that worked out perfectly because people made sure to ask a good question instead of some random fluff question that only had a 1-word reply or some shit like that. And one question means just one overall question. Now, there are many times in which people need to set up what they're going to ask. You need to set the background or the narrative of what you want to ask. And I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that. I know for more complex questions, people might need to write a little bit more to convey their point, and that's fine. But again, keep it within the realm of one question. If you notice that you have like 8 fucking question marks in your reply, chances are you asked more than one question. Now, since I've done quite a number of question and answer videos in the past so far, I've answered quite a number of questions. I don't expect everyone to know every single question that has ever been asked because I don't know them all myself, but there's a good chance you might ask a repeat question that I've seen before. You know, try to think of something original, try to think of creative things, think of things that you think nobody has asked before. Questions like favorite game, favorite movie, favorite porn star, they've all been asked before in some form or another. So you want to stand out for the crowd and ask something unique. Usually, each session, I get a number of questions about some hot button topic, whether it's shit like racial relations, religion, guns, politics, whatever the case may be. Now, when I play with Brown Power, and I'm talking about when we play in Destiny and shit like that, our sessions alone turn into days news on Google. No, seriously, man, this motherfucker, he plays video games with like Google News up and running, and then he just asks me every single time, hey Jay, have you heard of today's news? And then he gives me this weird fucking story of the day. No, seriously, it's like playing with a news app on your phone, talking to you or something every time I play with Brown. I'll just mess with him. He knew I was going to mess with him when I talked about this shit. But anyway, I expect some people will ask questions in relation to these hot button topics, such as maybe the church shootings that just occurred, gay marriage laws, Russia, ISIS, Obama, whatever the fuck people want to ask. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that ask it out there. But again, if people ask similar questions, I'm just all going to bunch them up into one single answer. So sure, you could ask me questions on religion. I've answered them in the past. You could ask me questions about race relations in the United States right now. I've answered those in the past as well. So if you want to harp on repeat questions, by all means, you can do so. But again, you want to try and stand out with your question and ask something completely unique. Usually in the last video that I do in the series, I pick some of the best questions and then I answer those with some of the longest replies that I'll possibly give. Now, in addition to those questions, one of the most common other items is, what do you think about XYZ game? And you can fill in the blank with pretty much everything we just saw at E3 and whatever the hell. Call of Duty, Final Fantasy, Fallout 4, Destiny's Taken King, whatever the fuck. Now, to save you guys some of the trouble of asking, I usually just give my thoughts in this video, so that will save you a question a little bit later. I'm going to do that a little in a minute. Because as for timing, how long do you guys have to send in the question? I give it about a week or so. You know, I'll take questions all through next week, and chances are I'll need an additional week after that to collect them all, answer them, process the videos and whatnot. So it's not something I do immediately. It's going to take a little bit of time for me to get through all the questions and answer all the questions and put the videos together. So I don't want people thinking this is going to be something that's going to be answered next week or in 2 weeks or whatever the hell it is. No. Chances are I'll be putting this all together on the weekend of July 4th or whatever the hell it is. So that's pretty much going to be the best time for me. And then sometime after that, I'll start rolling out the videos during the week. Now, as for the games that are releasing, I can give you a brief rundown so we can keep this nice and quick. The two biggest that I know people will be asking me for, Call of Duty and the Final Fantasy remake. Now, before Black Ops 3 was ever announced or even a thought, I said that I wasn't going to get a Treyarch product ever again, and I still stand by that. I refuse to buy any of their garbage and will never give that company a single penny because they are fucking scumbags. To see that cocksucker David Vonderhaar on PlayStation stage made me want to jump up there and rip his fucking spine out of his goddamn throat and shove that shit up his ass if I could. That gives you an idea of how much I can't stand those bastards. But as for the game itself, it looks like Advanced Warfare and Titanfall's illegitimate baby. Fuck that shit, man. Call me when Call of Duty returns to normal fucking times with regular shit you see in goddamn war. Get the fuck out of here with these exosuit shits and turning humans into robots and whatnot. I seriously hope that this fucking game fails and falls flat on its goddamn face, because this futuristic bullshit has nothing to do with Call of Duty anymore. From a game that started in World War II, has roots in World War II, plus they made their biggest impact with their Modern Warfare games, it's now sent 2 straight games into the future with total bullshit. Fuck this shit, man. I'm not getting any one of these Call of Duty games until they at least return to modern times or even go back to a historic war, and we'll go play that shit again. Now, on the flip side, Final Fantasy VII, oh hell fucking yeah. You know, this isn't just a remastered version of the original. This isn't some port garbage with no changes. Actually, a port's going to be coming to PlayStation 4 real soon from the original PC remake or whatever. I don't know what the fuck. They're bringing something to PlayStation 4, but it's the original shit. It's not a fucking remaster. This is a full-scale re-envisioning of the game being created from scratch. Essentially, it's a brand new game. It's the story we loved being packaged into something new. And while I've yet to buy a remastered old game, to me, this doesn't fall into that category. This seems completely new gaming, which is taking its story from the source material, but it is nothing like the original. I don't know how good it's going to be, how bad it's going to be, if the reviews are going to be any better than history and shit like that, but I am getting this day one. No questions asked. I'm sure we're not going to see this game until 2018 or 19. I don't know what they're going to change. Obviously, all we saw was a little bit of a trailer in this motherfucker, but regardless of what they create, I'm getting it. To me, this feels like it's going to be Final Fantasy 16. Obviously, Final Fantasy 16 hasn't been announced. We don't know anything about what the next game is. Final Fantasy 15 hasn't even fucking released. But this feels like it's going to be the next sequential game that keeps Square Enix busy. Obviously, Final Fantasy 16 is going to come down the road, but it feels like this is going to be the stopgap so that they have a game in between so that they can work on Final Fantasy 16 sometime down the road. But in any event, definitely day one buy for me. Some other games that people are going to ask me about: Fallout, Bethesda, you know they can go fuck themselves like Treyarch. Activision could go fuck themselves over this pricing with that Destiny Taken King crap. Assassin's Creed looks like the same shit once again, so I'll be skipping that motherfucker. Need for Speed looks okay so far, and I'll keep my eye on it. Horizon Zero Dawn, that looks okay. I mean, obviously that's not going to be coming out for a couple years, so I have time to keep my eye on that motherfucker. But I'll keep that in mind whenever they start releasing details on that motherfucker. Now, I've also never been into the Hitman series, so I obviously don't plan on getting that. Star Wars could get interesting if it's not just another DICE multiplayer game. You know, if they come up with some realistic shit for Star Wars, I might consider buying that one and jumping over to that series. You also have Shenmue 3, which shocked the shit out of people. I'm not gonna lie, man. When they announced that shit, I was in fucking shock when I saw that one. That one shocked the shit out of quite a number of people once they saw that motherfucker was rain. And then, of course, Mass Effect 4 Andromeda, whatever they want to call this shit. I'm sorry, I'm always gonna call that shit Mass Effect 4. I know it's not Mass Effect 4. I know it has nothing to do with the original Mass Effect. They're going to a whole new galaxy. They're going to be exploring a whole new galaxy, doing some completely different shit. But to me, it's always going to be Mass Effect 4. But in any event, that is also going to be a day one purchase for me. And oddly enough, if the timing is accurate and BioWare is able to hold up to what they've already said they might release it, they're looking at holiday 2016. If that timeline holds up, that means Destiny 2 and Mass Effect 4 Andromeda, we want to call this shit, they're going to be pretty much going up head to head. If Destiny releases in September and Mass Effect releases in November or so, it's going to give you about 2 months to play that motherfucker. And then you're going to have the hard choice. Which game do you stick with? Obviously, I spent countless hours in Mass Effect 3, so it's going to be a really hard choice if those two games are going head to head in 2016. Overall, I don't see too many games that I need to buy other than the Final Fantasy game and Mass Effect. Those are the only games that I absolutely know I will be purchasing. Other than that, all the other games are going to be a wait-and-see kind of approach. See if anything sparks my interest, and then I'll determine what games to buy in the future. But anyways, now that you guys know the rules, send in all your questions. And that means 1 question per person. You can use the YouTube personal message system or Prestige Gamers. Try and think of something creative. Try and think of something fun. And in a couple weeks, I'll get back to everyone with all my answers. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.